Hello, me again, talking to you again about the job support scheme and the self-employment income support scheme. Improvements to both of these schemes were announced on the 22nd of October. We produced a very detailed Techlink bulletin on the subject, so I'm going to try, probably fail, but I'm going to try to keep this short and concise. Job support scheme first. Job support scheme open, job support scheme closed. So there are two types. Job support scheme open for employers who can remain open with help, remain open and keep their employees on the payroll. That's what this scheme is designed to do, provided the employees can work at least 20% of their normal hours, then the employer can claim under that scheme. So the employee will get paid by the employer for the time that they work, say 1 day a week. Okay, what else will they get? So the employee is getting 20% of their normal pay. What about the other 80%? Well, the government will contribute a total of 61.7% of that remaining 80%, and the employer will contribute 5%. So that means a total of 66.7%. I'm looking at a bit of paper here. 66.7% of 80% of your normal pay, subject to a maximum of £125 per month from the employer and £1,541.75 from the government. They're the two maxima. So the employee could then expect to get, if they work that 1 day a week, a total of 73% of their normal pay. Where does that come from? Well, 20% of their normal pay is what they get paid for doing the work. And the other 53% is in effect 66.7% of 80%. Let's keep it simple, eh? So 73% of your normal pay you could get paid, provided you work 1 day a week, where you earn £3,125 a month. The amount that you will get will be 73% of your normal pay, where you earn up to 3,125 per month. If you earn more than that, the amount that you actually get paid will be a bit less as a percentage. So that's the job support scheme open. How about job support scheme closed? These are for employers that have to close because of a legal requirement to close, which has been imposed on them by one of the 4 governments in the United Kingdom. Okay, so if you have to close, then the employer can claim on your behalf and pay to you an amount of 2/3 of your normal pay. Okay, normal pay is what was normal pay under the job support scheme. We cover it in Techlink. So 2/3 of your normal pay, subject to a maximum of, bit of paper again, £2,083.33 per month. Now, under both of those schemes to claim, the normal conditions that apply to the job support scheme work. Those extra conditions of 20% of work for the job support scheme open need to be conformed with. If you're a large employer, that is with more than 250 employees, then you have further conditions to satisfy, which are quite complicated. Basically, I'm just checking here, the financial impact conditions, which are very complex, but also there's another condition, and that is that you shouldn't pay out any dividends during the period for which you're claiming. So the job support scheme is running in 2 parts, open and closed. It's running from November to February, first 3 months, and then February to April, next 3 months. Those amounts that I just talked about were for the first 3 months. Then it's going to be reviewed in January to see what the payments are going to be like for the second 3 months. Okay, so that's the way that works. How about the self-employment income support scheme? Well, that's a little bit simpler. There was complaints around that generally because you were going to get under the previously announced in September self-employment income support scheme, you're going to get roughly 20% of your average profits, determined in the same way as they were determined under the original self-employment income support scheme. It's just been doubled. So it's going to be 40%, again paid in 2 chunks, first for the first 3 months, and then they'll decide how much you'll get for the second 3 months. So for that first 3 months, it's 40% of your average profits, subject to a maximum of £3,750 as a one-off payment. It's taxable as well. And we'll see what the payment is for the second 3 months. Details on how and when to claim for both the job support scheme and the self-employment income support scheme will be published shortly. The government say by the end of October we will be keeping an eye on it. We will be keeping you up to date with our Techlink bulletins, which will be a whole lot clearer than this has just been.